college football playoff is fleeting. The Cougars take the field after a damaging loss last week to the Navy midshipmen. With that defeat, Houston, previously college football playoff darlings, are in 4th place in the American Conference, and their head coach Tom Herman is downstairs with Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, describe what the pain's been like for your team since that Navy loss.
It was short-lived. It was 24 hours, and use it as a little bit of motivation. We still got a bad taste in our mouth, but the pain has gone away, and we've moved on to preparing to beat Tulsa.
What did you do to refocus this team for this moment?
I reminded them how good we've been in the last 14 months, and that their A game is good enough to beat anybody in the country, and that if we play our A game, we're going to be fine.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
They're going to need a lot of A games to get back into the New Year's Six, where they made their mark last year against Florida State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Navy would need to lose at least once. The Cougars would need to win out, and an Oklahoma run of the table would be a good idea. Oklahoma won already today. So, the H-Town takeover continues. The playoff hopes do not. Houston will have it first here at home. From the 2-yard line, Wilson on the return, and he is up to the 25-yard line. Greg Ward Jr., one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in college football, possibly to overtake third-place David Klingler tonight. Kelly Stauber.
One of the most dynamic players in college football, and Jason, particularly on 3rd down, you have to find a way to tackle this quarterback, and that is easier said than done. He makes this Houston offense considerably different than they would be otherwise.
He is without his top tailback tonight. Duke Catalon still not cleared after a concussion a couple of weeks ago, so Dylan Burden is the running back. Pitch out from Ward to Linnell Bonner, who's dragged out of bounds after a gain of 4. Reggie Robinson knocked him out of bounds, the freshman from Cleburne, Texas. Well, Greg Ward Jr. threw a couple of interceptions that were uncharacteristic last week. One went for 6 for Navy, and that one is nearly intercepted. Jeremy Brady walked in front of it, but couldn't hang on. 3rd down.
Yeah, Jeremy Brady is playing that safety position, and both of the offenses today are going to put the safeties in a bind, kind of those run-pass commitments that those safeties have to have.
To 3rd down and 2. Houston 8th in FBS, 51% on 3rd down. Ward, quick set, whips it out. Chance Allen, 1st down across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 12. Ward has been lethal on 3rd down, Kel.
Yeah, and pace is going to be on the table for both teams, as fast as they can go.
Read option. Ward, hat on a hat on the outside. He's across the 45. As he goes head first into Trent Martin, 2nd down.
Yeah, and Ward in the run game, Duke Catalon, like you said, is not playing today, so look for number 1 to carry the football a bit more.
Play action for Ward. They want him to keep his eyes downfield. He does there, and he's got a completion across the 35. 2nd grab for Allen in front of Keanu Hill.
And this is what makes Ward so much different than most. Think of Lamar Jackson, keeping the play alive, and you said it, Jason, able to keep his eyes down the field and make a play. That puts so much pressure on defense and coverage.
Houston is on its first drive of the game. Couple completions from Greg Ward to Chance Allen have the Cougars in position. And Dylan Burden rips off a run inside the 25 as Martin yanks him down. 1st down, Houston.
Craig Suits, the outside linebacker.
Defense, number 28. Curry is declined. Will take the play, 1st down.
Got a little bit anxious, did Craig Suits, from his outside linebacker position, and that's the kind of pressure that Greg Ward puts on the defense as a whole. He makes guys just a little bit jumpier than normal.
Tulsa over-penalized last week, 17 penalties. It's a long throw, Ward to Linnell Bonner. And he's got a nice gain on 1st down. Give him about 4. 2nd down on the way for one of the most versatile quarterbacks in the FBS, Greg Ward Jr. Houston coming off that loss to Navy, the first loss of the year for the Cougars that dropped them out of the college football playoff race. Still a chance to get to a New Year's Six bowl. The Cougars would need some help as they run the option with Burton, who cuts it inside and scores. Touchdown, Houston. With Duke Catalan out with a concussion, Burton goes 17 yards for the opening touchdown.
The Tulsa defensive coordinator Brian Norwood told us during the week that it's about leverage. Err on the side of too much leverage, but then you have to tackle in space. Great leverage, very, very poor tackling on that play.
Ty Cummings for the extra point. 7-0.
So the sun came up the day after the loss, and then you get to play football again, and now everything they wanted is ahead of them except the playoff game.
Deep kick to the end zone, and Bishop Louis takes a knee. One of the best offenses in the country, led by Dane Evans, the quarterback who's one of the best in Tulsa history. 3,000-yard seasons each of the last 2 years, up to about 9,500 for his career.
And a very lively arm. He has kind of a good presence about him. He's a coach's son. He's very poised. He understands the game of football. But if you go down to the YMCA and you're involved in a pickup basketball game, you want a guy that is a baller. This guy's a baller on the football field. He wills his team to win, as we've seen the last 2 times out.
Brewer on the run, picking his way right into the freshman phenom Ed Oliver, one of the top 5 players in the country, according to the ESPN 300 last year. Our impact players presented by Chick-fil-A.
D'Angelo Brewer is the running back that's a workhorse. He carries the ball a ton, and remember, they play at pace, so he has to be on the field a great deal. And then Ed Oliver's the man-child at nose tackle. He has to invite double teams and still win. And then Stephen Taylor, suspended a week ago against Navy, and boy, did they need him against Navy. Look for Stephen Taylor to try to make a huge impact here this evening.
Evans out into the flat. It's caught by Keenan Johnson. First completion for Evans, sets up 3rd and short.
And what Tulsa is running is Baylor's offense. It's as fast as you can, spread it as wide as you can, and then it's essentially a numbers count. If we have a favorable box, we can run it. If we don't, then we have to get it with precision to the perimeter and let our playmakers in space do something with it.
3rd down and 2, Tulsa. On the run, Brewer finds space across the 25 and bashed down at the 21. 1st down, Tulsa.
And Brewer is a very, very accomplished running back. He carries it a ton, but he's physical. He's very patient, and he's also very dependable. He gets the most out of every carry that he possesses the football.
84 carries the last 2 weeks for Brewer in those overtime wins for Tulsa. He gets another year, and it's 2nd down.
And Houston defensively is all about stopping the run, and D'Angelo Brewer has carried it a ton, and he's very productive in doing it, and has to carry it a bunch because there's a boatload of plays that this offense runs. Tulsa defensively says, first and foremost, we take away the run. That's already what they're doing, and so the passes are going to have to go outside.
They go 4 wide again. It's Brewer running into Oliver. 3rd down for Tulsa. This Golden Hurricane team with back-to-back overtime wins. The only loss was a big one to Ohio State, but they were in it late 2nd quarter. A couple of turnovers were very damaging. Third down and 8 for Tulsa on the road. Evans with time, wide side, and he's got a completion. That's a first down to Justin Hobbs, the sophomore, with his 21st grab of the year. And Tulsa continues to move.
And Hobbs was just one-on-one outside with Jeremy Winchester, and that's exactly what Dane Evans' responsibility is to do. In the pass game, who's singled and how quickly can I get the ball to him?
Johnson with a drop. A wide receiver screen that could have gone maybe for some yardage. 2nd and goal. You know, on Justin Hobbs, we were talking to Philip Montgomery this week, the head coach for Tulsa. He said, we think he is ready for a big game, whether it's today or soon. He's been their big play threat last couple of years. Evans up in the pocket, using his feet. Evans sets and fires. End zone! Incomplete. Atkinson, the intended target, and the sophomore Howard Wilson got a hand in. 3rd down and goal.
Great defense that time. A lot of clutter on the back end, and Evans did a nice job of extending the play. He kind of threw this ball up into harm's way. He was fortunate it wasn't kicked off.
Tremendous athlete, Dane Evans. Played baseball as a young pup. Was a championship wrestler as well. 3rd down and goal. Play clock down to 6. At 1, he takes the ball. Evans and the receiver got tied up. It's incomplete. Downstairs, Carton.
Jason, how do you slow down one of the fastest teams in all of college football? Bring the noise. You look at right there, Dane Evans is slowing his calls down. He's trying to communicate with the sideline, his wide receivers. They are not in sync. This stadium only sits about 40,000. However, it's really, really loud because the way it's structured. It's not very high up. It's condensed, and I'll tell you, there's no way his wideouts are getting his call. I'm on the field. I can't hear anything.
So it's field goal time after 4 straight incompletions for Evans, and Redford Jones makes his 11th field goal of the year. 7-3 Houston with the lead. In the American, Houston needs to win out and get some help, including a Navy loss, to make it again to a New Year's 6 bowl. Went to their first New Year's Day bowl in 30 years last season behind Tom Herman, who says he built this program in some ways in the same aura as Howard Schnellenberger did with the Miami Hurricanes back in the day when they were independent Houston in the American Conference. Cougars get it back after the field goal from 32 yards for Redford Jones, and we say hi. Dylan Burden back in at running back. He has the only touchdown as Ward finds the outside. Greg Ward Jr. puts his head down across the 40 into Trent Martin for a 16-yard run and a 1st down.
And safety Jeremy Brady once again in position to make a tackle, so the leverage part of it is good, but you have to finish, and you're finishing on a guy that's maybe one of the top 2 or 3 guys that's difficult to finish on in all of college football, in Greg Ward.
They go empty with Ward, a senior out of Tyler, Texas. And now they add Burden to the backfield. Burden to the short side and out of bounds short of the 40-yard line. What does this read option stress in terms of Tulsa's defense?
Well, they're called overhang players, and it's a lot of times outside players like an outside linebacker or safety that stress whether it's going to be a run pass.
Once again, Burden crashing across the 35, 1st down.
And so Ward's job is to make that overhang guy wrong regardless of what he decides. If he's going to be a run defender, then you want to go ahead and pull the ball out if you have an outside run presence with a quarterback, or if you have a run pass option, throw the ball if they stick their nose in the box.
Carr on the run. We talked to the offensive coordinator, Major Applewhite, about that very thing. He said they have been picking out plays all season long to say, hey, Greg, your decision making is getting better. There are still some moments where he can hang a little longer, is the feeling.
Yeah, getting him to learn that without putting vices on his best asset, which are his feet. You don't want to mess with the feet, but you want him making great pocket decisions in the presence of that.
A 1,000-yard rusher last year flips it out to Carr, and Mulba Carr, the 2nd-string running back today with the injury to Duke Catalan, gets 5. 3rd down for Houston, and a wide-open playbook here, Kel. Third and 4 for Ward. quick hitter for Bonner, and he is short of the 15-yard line. McKinley Whitfield spun him around, so it's 4th down for Houston. What do you do?
Well, that's a win, and I already see Houston's field goal team coming on, but the way that was defended, there were multiple guys to the ball, which is the overlapping defense that Brian Norwood talked about, and then it's the sure tackling. If we're going to miss, we're going to miss with good leverage. They had leverage, they had multiple hats, and in the end, if you can hold Houston to a field goal or a field goal try, you've won defensively.
Ty Cummings has made 4 straight, this from 33 yards away. And it is good. There are some NC State fans wishing it was theirs. The Cougar fans will take it. 10-3 Houston. Ty Cummings on the kick for Houston. Bishop Louis from inside the 5. Louis is a speedster, and he's tied up at the 24. Downstairs to Cart.
You could say, Jason, I'm with a huge Houston Cougars fan. Andre Ware, 1989 Heisman winner, a colleague at ESPN. Andre, you've seen a lot in Houston over the years. You're from the city, you played here, and you've been such a big fan. Describe what's going on now with Tom Herman as the head coach.
There's a lot of emotion, a lot of passion's been brought back to the program, a lot of energy, and it's been much needed. But he's just an energizer bunny. I tease him all the time. I don't know where he gets the energy from, but he's nonstop, 24/7. He's got the entire city, and a lot of coaches have been in this place and have coached here, but he's got the entire city energized about the program.
We'll watch this play, and we'll come back in a second. You know, Andre, their quarterback. You are a stud quarterback here in this city. Greg Ward Jr. What excites you the most watching this kid play?
I think it's his intelligence. I've had a chance to sit in meetings with him and just watch him absorb the game. He can finish the sentences of offensive coordinator Major Applewhite. So he's got a good mental approach to the game.
What do you think the ceiling is for this program? Say they don't get into the Big 12. What's the ceiling here, Andre?
I think they'll continue to be the team that is right on the edge of the playoff, and they'll stay in that conversation because they're in a Group 5 if they don't get into the Big 12. But it's here to stay. I do believe that.
You're a legend in the city. Where are we going tonight? I'm going with you.
I'm boring, man. I go home, relax. This is kind of an off day for me, so I'm going to put my feet up tonight.
You were out in Salt Lake City doing that overtime game last night. That was a great one. BYU wins in overtime against Mississippi State. Get some rest, buddy. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Kark, thank you. That's an 8,200-yard passer, Andre Ware, here at Houston. And
The receiver went out of bounds on his own. He came in and was the first to touch the ball. Therefore, we have an illegal touch. Lost it down at the previous spot. It'll be 3rd down.
Because
no
Jason,
interference.
You can't interfere with an ineligible receiver. So I think that's the takeaway right there. And Lucas is out of bounds with his right foot, as you can see on the screen. And so Brandon Wilson actually gets away with one because you simply can't interfere with a receiver that's ineligible to come back in play and touch the football.
So 3rd and 8 for Tulsa against a strong 3rd down defense in Houston. Pressure coming. Evans bails. Evans incomplete. Closest player was Howard Wilson, the sophomore for Houston. And it's punt time for Tulsa.
And Evans does a great job of trying to maximize the route downfield, even when he's on the move. He's a great move thrower, but that time there was the potential, at least, Jason, to pick up the line to gain by running the football. And he threw that one kind of between 2 receivers downfield.
Saw Philip Montgomery talking to the official. It's an offensive mind who learned under Art Briles. Parks gets it away. De'Eric King waves a couple of times. Fair catch, 45-yard punt. And under 10 seconds to go. Quarter number 1. Ward gets it out to Burton in the flat. He gets 4. Matt Linscott, the former safety turned linebacker, with the tackle. And we have exhausted the first 15 minutes in Houston. The Cougars, who took their first loss of the year last week, have a 10-3 lead at home in Texas. Houston leads 10-3 after one quarter. Thanks for joining us from Houston. And Major Applewhite, the offensive coordinator for Houston, quoted Rising Sun, the movie, to us.
I heard that.
He said, you know, we don't fix blame, we fix the problems. No turnovers first quarter. Greg Ward doing what he does. And Dylan Burton, the substitute running back, having a nice day. Burton in for the injured Duke Catalan, who is still going through the concussion protocol at Houston. Not cleared to play tonight. Second down for Ward. Quick hitter to the outside for Burton, and he cuts it upfield across the 40-yard line. First down, gain of 17. Now, Dylan Burton, the transfer from Blinn Junior College, with another grab. Tom Herman's been happy with Burton, and Major Applewhite said, look, Catalan hasn't played enough to really feel like our starting running back. He has been in and out, so it's not really seemed like we've had him for much of the year. Linnell Bonner breaks a tackle, and he leans toward midfield. Right near the marker. Kerwin Thomas, Matt Linscott together for Tulsa's defense, already stressed today.
And Linscott is the overhang defender that we talked about earlier. He's the outside linebacker that's kind of out in space. And so Greg Ward is reading him. On the read, if he steps inside, you throw the bubble outside and vice versa. And right now, Ward is getting the better of this defense.
Linscott, who this week said, look, this game's big for us. We want to win the conference. Certainly Houston is a New Year's Six contender. Tulsa could put itself in position in the American Conference Championship game with a win tonight. That's a dart to Stephen Dunbar, and he's all the way down to the 35, gain of 15 on a rocket from Ward.
And all of the play action pass game is targeting someone specifically. That time it was the second level and just allowing Dunbar to, as they step up to that run fake, get the slant in behind them.
First down from the 40 for Ward. Three receivers out. He goes for Dunbar. Incomplete. Dunbar had Kerwin Thomas beat by a couple of steps.
Great read by Ward, just not a very good throw on the vertical. Dunbar got by the corner, Kerwin Thomas, on the vertical, and you could see the safety jump the underneath route, and then that just creates a middle open look for your quarterback, and you have a post, and Dunbar, you just have to stick it on him, and that was a huge missed opportunity.
Second down, Ward puts his foot on the ground and gets a big dash inside the 15-yard line. Oh, what a run.
If you pressure Greg Ward, you better hit the mark on your blitz, and Tulsa did not on this one, and Ward made him pay for it.
The second leading touchdown maker on the ground in the FBS last year gets it again. Ward turns it upfield. How about that speed when he looks upfield, Kel?
Yeah, and it's a nightmare for any defensive play caller, because if you come after him and your guys don't break down and tackle him out in space well, which is difficult to do, he gashes you. And then when you play coverage, you give some softness, and he makes you pay for that as well.
One more time into the end zone on the ground. Ward gives it up to Mulbacar, and the Cougars have their second touchdown.
When this offense is in rhythm, it's so difficult to defend. And that's with an average quarterback. And Greg Ward is not average. He makes every play an adventure for the defense. He typically makes you wrong whether you blitz and don't get home, or whether you play coverage and play a little soft and give him too much time to look at things, whether he throws it or runs it.
Cummings for the extra point, and Houston has rebounded nicely from that first loss. Both running backs with touchdowns. Burden and now Carr at 17-3. Houston near a sellout tonight. A little bit short. But the Houston sideline is flinging water like it's going out of style.
They're pretty excited down there, aren't they?
I think they may have, with their jumping, knocked the ball off the tee. The seismic.
I don't think that had anything to do with it.
You don't?
No, I don't think so. The water spilling out, yes, but I don't think it knocked the ball off the tree.
The line drive kick out of bounds. That will slow down the excitement. So Dane Evans, the senior quarterback, to the controls. And he hands it off with a jet sweep for Kevin Lucas, trying to get him into play here. He's a big play threat.
And that's a great way to do it. Just hand him the ball, and it's a designed run from the beginning, but it's not just takeaways. That's only half the takeaway story. It's points off of takeaways that Tulsa has to concentrate on.
Stays in, and there's a dagger down the middle from Dane Evans, and flags come in. We may have targeting against Terrell Williams. He wanted Keenan Johnson.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 23. Timeout, the play is under for the review.
I think that's good all the way around, and now all of a sudden, Houston is short defensively in the secondary that is compromised a lot because of the run-pass conflict of the scheme that Tulsa runs.
We've seen predominantly 4 wide receivers today for Tulsa, and we will all day. Evans wants a deep ball down the sideline, and he hits the band. Second down coming up.
Garrett Davis was the safety in on that particular play. It was a double move outside to Josh Atkinson, and it was well played by the safety. I think the receiver ran a nice route on the corner underneath, but the safety got over the top and forced the throw out of bounds.
Dane Evans, delayed draw. Flanders off the spin. Third down on the way. That's a must-have for Notre Dame as a quick hit to the outside gets a first down to Flanders. Howard Wilson upends him, but Tulsa maintains the drive.
Flanders was a free releaser outside as the running back. Pressure inside, and nobody covered Flanders, the running back, to the left.
Still no sign of D'Angelo Brewer as Flanders shakes one tackler and gets not much of anything. Second down as Nick Thurman, the reserve defensive tackle, finished him off. Tulsa could really use a score here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was going to say the same thing. Tulsa has not been good in the red zone. Coming into this game, scoring touchdowns only 50% of the time. That dog will not hunt against Greg Ward and company here tonight.
That dog won't even get out of the house to think about hunting. Evans sets his feet. It's batted incomplete. Kevin Lucas and Brandon Wilson were jockeying for it. It is third down.
And Keenan Lucas is an inside receiver that is a tremendous route runner. And Brandon Wilson is actually going to purposely be matched up on Keenan Lucas a ton. We've already seen it tonight, and we saw it on that play right there.
Third down 9.
Tulsa has to find a way to finish with something other than a field goal.
Evans under pressure, got it over the middle. Kevin Lucas inside the 10-yard line. There's the big play threat. Lucas for a first and goal, Tulsa.
Kevin Lucas was able to get inside on the right side. Terrell Williams was in there that particular time. Remember, Terrell Williams is out of the game. And so there was a different safety in there, and that time the receiver had the best of that matchup.
Still no sign of the workhorse, D'Angelo Brewer, and James Flanders has absolutely stood up. He may not have gotten a yard. He may have lost one. Matthew Adams, who had a rough game last week, trying to tackle Navy quarterback Will Worth, was in on it.
When Tulsa has to take their run game outside, I think Houston is demonstrating that they have the ability to be stout inside with less numbers, and the one-on-one matchups are outside. You have to make hay in the pass game.
Evans rolling this way, flips it out quickly and inside the 5-yard line. It'll be third and goal. Chris Minter, the tight end, with a rare catch.
Yeah, he doesn't catch a lot. He's actually the second back, essentially. He's the move H-back, so he's the second back in that 2 running back run game that Tulsa likes to stay balanced. And they're very balanced on the year, but in order to make plays and in order to get in the end zone, Jason, I really believe that Tulsa's going to have to throw the football.
They did there to the cousin of Bubba Franks, the former Miami tight end, and Tulsa gets in on the ground. Touchdown, Corey Taylor. The Tulsa native scores for Tulsa. So the freshman Taylor with the score for the Golden Hurricane to cap an 11-play drive. How about that for your first carry of the season? Corey Taylor with a rushing touchdown for the Golden Hurricane. Jones the extra point, and Tulsa is right back in it in Houston. Corey Taylor, first career rush, goes for a touchdown for the Golden Hurricane. How about that?
That's pretty efficient right there. Dino Favors, how about that? Another of that growing coaching tree of Art Briles. Baylor's showing up everywhere.
Dino Babers has said he learned the conditioning piece from Art Briles, who has jumped into Cleveland as an offensive consultant this week for Hugh Jackson and the Browns. Short kickoff to the 15-yard line, De'Aaron King. And Houston will not have as good a field position as you might have expected. That's the question to Philip Montgomery, who's still using the system, but certainly doesn't agree with the results at Baylor.
Well, I think the system is the key. The system still works. I think obviously some decision making in Baylor is still in question, to say the least.
Mulbacar is in for Houston, and third down coming up for the Cougars.
And I was watching some news last night with Friday Night Lights here in Texas, and basically both of these teams play that way. Houston doesn't play as fast, but every team in high school down here seem to be playing that way.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of wishbone going on in Texas high school football, as Ward turns his back and he is stopped short of the marker. Tulsa has a timeout remaining.
And I think they'll use it right here, Jason. I think that's exactly what they want to do.
Deep kick for Roy inside the 30-yard line, and a fair catch for Wadley. Tulsa, which has half of its scoring drives for the season coming in under 2 minutes, goes into the 2-minute offense. James Flanders, still without Brewer, crashes to the 30-yard line. Second down.
And no timeouts left either, so they're going to have to hurry up, which is nothing new to them. They play essentially their hurry-up 2-minute offense consistently anyway.
Quick hitter outside for Hobbs, who spins away and gets across the 45 with a high hurdle. First down. It took Garrett Davis to chop him out of bounds.
Quick decision and a live arm by Dane Evans gets the ball out to Hobbs, and the ball placement and the timing allows Hobbs to get yards after the catch.
Evans again off the pump fake. Hobbs back shoulder. He dropped it. Second down on the way. Tulsa looked like it might be down and out. It was 17-3. Houston fumbled. Tulsa got it back off that fumble, scored, and forced a 3 and out.
And Houston seems content to bring 3 of their down linemen, maybe add a fourth one from the second level, but play with 2 high safeties on the back end.
4 come this time, and it's a high pass to Atkinson. Third down.
That's the lack of sharpness that you have to have in order to make hay against Houston. Those are the things that have to be gimmies. That ball needs to be down in the numbers, then it's a completion, and a very important one right here, because Atkinson basically runs for a first down and moves the sticks.
Third down 10. Tulsa 7 of 10 on third down tonight against a stellar third down defense. Evans down the middle. He has a completion, first down. Lucas off the spin, keeps his feet inside the red zone.
Houston playing two high safeties with essentially a picket fence underneath and only rushing three, and very good patience by the quarterback Dane Evans in order to find Lucas right in the softness of that zone.
Lucas, who has a 3-touchdown game this year. This is Johnson cutting it inside. The freshman Johnson to the 5. Garrett Davis again forced to tackle.
Houston has allowed Tulsa to get in a rhythm offensively, and they may end up regretting that.
Evans this time. Dane Evans, touchdown. He's had the game winner the last 2 games. And he's got Tulsa an extra point away from a tie.
And Houston's safety, Garrett Davis, was there as the defender who had the quarterback on that read option. Garrett just didn't attack hard enough. Dane Evans was able to lower his shoulder and get into the end zone. Jason, it basically becomes one-on-one outside, which is what you want with your ball carriers. In this case, your ball carrier was a quarterback, Dane Evans, and he got the best of Garrett Davis.
Redford Jones for the extra point. And Dane Evans steers them down the field in a $1:45. 17 all at the half. Chris Cotter, Butch Davis, Jonathan Vilma, the Outback Steakhouse halftime report.
Coach, you were up 17-3. It's tied at 17 now. Where did the momentum shift in your mind?
The turnover. We got a turnover, and then we were driving, had a first down. We fumbled it, gave it back to them, and then 2 penalties were called on our defense that gave them great field position. They went down and scored. We can't turn the ball over and win a football game.
I saw you're shaking your head on one of those 3-and-outs. What more do you want from your offense?
Consistency. We got 2 touchdowns, a field goal. That's great, but we can't go 3-and-out with 2 minutes left. Let them get the ball back.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The dream's still alive for Houston for a second straight New Year's 6 bowl game, but Tulsa's comeback late first half has tied the game here in Houston. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Kelly Stauffer along with you. Houston was up 17-3 into this game. Tulsa with a furious comeback, Kel.
Yeah, and I think that second quarter obviously was a must for Tulsa. They got in rhythm offensively, but it's about turnovers. And remember how the end of that half finished. Houston had a chance to kill the clock. They went 3-and-out. That is a turnover against the speed in which Tulsa plays offensively. Greg Ward Jr. is a handful to corral at that quarterback position.
162 yards through the air. The only interception came on the final play of the first half. It's a 14-0 run for Tulsa. And the total plays, we told you about the numbers. They're 1-2 in plays per game in the FBS this year. 89 of them. That's the EOV in H-Town takeover. Part of the body paint epidemic here in Houston. Tom Herman has H-Town takeover everywhere. They light up a Ferris wheel, they light up a building, H-Town takeovers on billboards. He has 50-plus players from the city of Houston on his team in his second year, but his team needs a win and maybe a ball that stays on a tee. That's the second time we've seen that happen tonight.
The guys are jumping up and down on the sideline for Houston again. You blamed them last time, and there it goes again.
Well, Tom Herman prepares his team for chaos by throwing smoke bombs at team meals. So they're ready for just about anything, energy-wise. Cummings on the approach. He kicked one out of bounds in the first half. This is a touchback. And Tulsa will have it at the 25-yard line. Downstairs, Clark.
Jason, that Houston sideline looks like you getting ready for a production meeting on a Friday night. He does 2 things great. That was Philip Montgomery's response when I asked him, where are you more concerned about Greg Ward Jr. as a passer or as a runner? He said, you don't stop this guy. He's impossible to stop. But when we send the house, we need to make sure there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys on him, because one guy is not going to tackle Greg Ward Jr. D'Angelo Brewer at 434 yards, combined rushing yards in the past 2 games for Tulsa, both victories. He was limited in that first half because of a foot injury. We haven't seen much of Brewer at all.
And he's not in on this play. It's James Flanders, the reserve tailback, just 10 carries in that first half for Brewer, and it's second down coming up.
The run game hasn't been that effective for Tulsa, quite frankly, until they've gotten deep inside the red zone, and that's what Houston does defensively. They absolutely smother the run, and they force the game to be played on the pass side of it, and Tulsa's going to have to get it done in the second half.
Evans lights up a throw to the 35-yard line. First down and then some. Keenan Johnson, the freshman. Very shifty run. Brandon Wilson, who's back in after a high ankle sprain last couple of weeks with the tackle, gain of 18.
And that's the offense to a T, is to get out in space and force good tackling, and Houston has dropped the ball in that way a couple of times.
So it's up to James Flanders, who's thundered down after a short gain. Cameron Malvo, the senior defensive lineman, was in on the stop. Flanders, who they call an angry runner. His head coach, Philip Montgomery, says he's a little bit more downhill of a runner than Brewer.
And that's a compliment when you're talking about a running back. And that's what this run game needs, is they need a guy to plant his foot and go downhill in a hurry.
Evans looks the other way and throws it too hot. Intended for Atkinson. It's third down and 4.
That was a great job by Evans. He had the route combination to the right, defended well by Houston. He goes all the way to the backside to Atkinson, and basically his feet didn't catch up with his eyes. The ball was thrown behind and not accurately to Atkinson.
Tulsa 9 of 12 on third down in the first half against a very strong third down defense for the Houston Cougars. Evans, quick set, wanted Hobbs, tipped ball. Cameron Malvo was in there, and it's fourth down.
And Malvo did a great job. He was coming off the edge, and he happened to be right in the path of the pass, and he's 6'6" anyway, and a huge wingspan, and he just simply stared down Evans, and when he couldn't get to him, he batted the ball down.
Batted the ball down with his body.
No kidding. That hit him in the left armpit.
So Dalton Parks punting to De'Aaron King, who may be a quarterback for this Houston team next year. He's a very talented passer. Back to receive the punt. Parks had a nice night. This one bound for the end zone. Greg Ward Jr. off the pitch. Dylan Burden to the outside, and he turns on the Jets across the 30. Escorted out by Reggie Robinson. It's a gain of 11 for Burden.
And Houston lost their rhythm offensively in that second quarter. At the same time, Tulsa found theirs offensively. So Greg Ward and company need to find that quickly here in the second half.
First down after the fourth down incompletion. And Mulva Carr, the running back, is in across the 40. Reggie Robinson doused him right near the marker.
And that's one thing we haven't seen a lot of, is the running back trying to get to the edge in that quarterback read, with Greg Ward potentially keeping it up in the box himself.
Second down. Ward, the keeper, he's across the 45-yard line. And Greg Ward moves the chains for Houston.
And that's the split zone. You have Tyler McCluskey that's going across the formation, and you have a zone read up inside, and if Ward keeps it, he ends up with a personal protector in a sense, with McCluskey going across the formation and leading the way for his quarterback.
Under 6 minutes, third quarter, Houston has seen Tulsa score 14 unanswered, and Ward right into the teeth of that defense. And Jesse Brubaker, who was poked in the eye in practice, nearly lost his eye in spring ball, came back after a couple of surgeries, doctor's appointments. He is in at the defensive end spot and has been a key player for Tulsa.
Yeah, and that was really good leverage by not only Brubaker, but also Jeremy Smith. I think Ward wanted to get outside. His running back went up inside on the quarterback zone read. Typically, your quarterback would go to the edge, and there was no way that Ward could get there.
Ward the handoff this time, and Mulba Carr is swung down by Craig Suits, the junior linebacker. It is 3rd down after a gain of 1. What do you make of Houston's offense stalling the last couple of quarters?
I think it's more about what Tulsa's doing defensively. I like the adjustments they've made. They've done a better job of keeping leverage on Ward in particular, a better job of tackling, and then on the back end, they've good mix between zone coverage and man-to-man at times.
Martin showing blitz, lays off. They rush 4. They get to Ward. He breaks out of the pocket. Greg Ward across his body to Dunbar. And there are the feet of Greg Ward Jr. creating the first down.
That's the beauty of a mobile quarterback that extends the play. One high safety, man-to-man underneath, and Dunbar was covered initially. But that was 2.5 seconds ago. When your quarterback gets outside the pocket, Dunbar is no longer tagged by anyone, and he converts and moves the sticks.
Houston, which came in out first downing opponents 165-76, goes with Ward this time, zigzagging across the 35, 2nd and short after a gain of 8.
We're told that Greg Ward Jr. is 5'11", $190. That means he's probably 5'9½". $175, but he doesn't hesitate, Jason, to run the ball up inside.
Ward, good decision. Outside, Greg Ward with a stiff arm for good measure to Robinson. First down, Houston. Chris Cotter.
All right, time for a Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Texas trailed Iowa State at the half in Austin, but Shane Buechele here finding Devin DuVernay wide open. Beautiful passing catch here down the side. Horns lead 17-6 now.
Greg Ward in progress. 1st and goal, Houston. Thomas drops him.
The quarterback zone read is not just one play. It can be several plays. The quarterback can get to the edge, the running back up inside, or vice versa. And right now, more success getting to the edge for Houston.
Ward clapping for the ball to give it to Burden. Touchdown!
Jason, when you have an edge threat like Ward that can take the ball around the end like he has twice on this drive, then what happens is defenders get their eyes wrong. They think the ball is expanding out with the dynamic playmaker in Greg Ward Jr. And in reality, it's a zone, somewhat basic run up the middle with a running back in Burden, in this case, that can pay it off.
To the former defensive back, the JUCO transfer Dylan Burden gets Houston back on the board. His 2nd touchdown, and Cummings drives the extra point through. That breaks 14 in a row for Tulsa. A career night for Dylan Burden. Houston leads again.
Welcome back to Houston, where Houston, the Cougars are up 24-17 over Tulsa. Greg Ward Jr. is doing a great job of knowing when to stay in the pocket. Right here, he essentially re-establishes the pocket and still keeps his eyes down the field in almost 7 seconds. And then this time the pocket breaks down. When do I escape? I need to escape right on time, and it's almost 6 seconds. Both different results, both different pockets, but the commonality was really good decision-making by Ward.
How does that develop in a quarterback's mind?
He has a really, really good teacher in Major Applewhite that is teaching him how is best to utilize his feet, and that's what it looks like.
Bishop Louis back to receive for Tulsa. And he spun around to the 20 and drilled once he was out of bounds. Flags are everywhere. Top 2 play runners in the FBS, Tulsa and Houston. Over the middle from Evans, who's made great decisions up in the pocket tonight. Hobbs drilled at the 50. They get 13.
And Dane Evans does not want to run. He wants to pass first. Greg Ward Jr. is learning that same skill, and he's doing a pretty good job of it.
We talked to Philip Montgomery about the quick release for Evans as Ed Oliver is in on that stop of Flanders, and it's a first down for Tulsa.
Evans has a lively arm. He can sling it from a lot of different arm slots, which is important because he's not very tall. Probably under 6 feet tall. We're told 6'1", but that's not the case. Sometimes you have to change the angle of your throw.
Flanders running parallel, and Ed Oliver tripped him up. The freshman out of Westfield High School here in Houston, who came to this program because his brother Marcus was here. Big play.
Ed Oliver runs from his nose tackle position and runs a pretty fast running back down clear out by the edges. I mean, that's the special talent that this young man has. He does a great job of keeping his feet.
Now he has 10 tackles in less than 3 quarters. Another tipped pass and incomplete. Evans couldn't clear the line. Oliver in there again. It is third down. He's owned the possession.
And Oliver on that play doing a great job of realizing he's not getting to the quarterback. He's not getting a lot of push. And so what those defensive linemen love to do is stare down the quarterback and just simply try to get a big paw up in the pass lane. Oliver was successful on that play.
Todd Orlando, his defensive coordinator, says he finds the ball so well for a freshman. He did right there to set up 3rd and 10 for Tulsa, trailing by 7. Pressure coming. Pocket holds up. Evans incomplete. Maybe miscommunication. 4th down. Cart.
You guys love Ed Oliver up in the booth. Got to be, from my vantage point, his feet are ridiculously quick. He was number 6 overall player in the ESPN 300, and Tom Herman told me yesterday what he brings from a recruiting standpoint to Houston. It's okay for a 5-star to come to Houston to play right away. It only took them 3 days once they put the pads on this summer to give Ed Oliver that starting nod.
Probably two days too long.
He has been mammoth for that defense. One of the top rush defenses in the country as King waves for a fair catch. Burden hit by Suits. And it's 2nd down. We may not see another play here in quarter number 3. Well, Houston's opportunity to win the American Conference West Division is hanging in the balance the next 15 minutes from Houston, 24-17. The band is on the field. The band is on the field.
I think they're supposed to be on the field.
This time they are. Yeah, this time they are. That's 10 this morning getting ready. The drum line, the sousaphones, everybody. And they've needed the band. The Cougars have. It's been a close one so far as they spell out whatever they choose to spell out. That's always the most entertaining part of the halftime show is see what the band spells out. Yeah, it looked like stopper is what they were going with tonight. Greg Ward with the offense back on the field. 24-17. He's over 300 total yards. And Ward with the keep straight ahead. 3rd down for Houston. Ward, quick throw. Chance Allen has been relatively quiet since the first quarter. And he wrangles tacklers across midfield. Gain of 17, first down.
And too soft a coverage on the outside if you're bringing pressure. Kerwin Thomas gave way too much cushion to Chance Allen, allowing Greg Ward Jr. to have an easy throw. There was pressure getting to him, but you can't give him that easy of an outlet throw.
Wide receiver screen from Ward. Linnell Bonner, who has had a mammoth game so far. That's catch number 12 for Bonner Kark.
He's in pain, too. I saw him earlier in the 3rd quarter getting stretched by the trainers in the groin area. I'm watching him now. He is not at full speed. He's caught 2 balls basically on one leg. 15 in red. If you watch him, he is not at his full twitch type cutting movements.
Former walk-on, got a scholarship last year. He stays in the game in that slot in the trips for Houston. Cougars trying to keep their New Year's 6 bowl hopes alive. Need a win tonight and a win throughout the year. Ward scanning, Ward running. Ward gets a block from Bonner and a first down, Houston.
Sometimes it seems unfair. Houston was running a bubble screen and trying to hit a go route off of it. Very well defended, but then you're up against something that may be worse, and that's number one, getting into open spaces and absolutely nullifying every angle that Tulsa has defensively.
Ward stood up and dropped. Jesse Brubaker again has had a nice half. It's a loss of 1 and second down.
And Brubaker just blew up a power run by the quarterback. There were 2 pullers on the offensive line of scrimmage. The first one was supposed to kick him out, and he blew that one up and just went and hunted down Ward, who had the football.
Very athletic player, former tight end Brubaker, who his defensive coordinator Brian Norwood says is the leader of this defense. 2nd and 18 for Greg Ward. On the run, showing the feet again. Ward gets through traffic so nimbly. He's across the 35 in the arms of Mitchell, gain of 12.
And see, that's the problem, Jason. That time Tulsa wanted to play a little more coverage, and you don't get after Ward, but you create seams. Every coverage on the back end has a seam of some kind. Well, a guy like Greg Ward is going to find it, and he did right there.
Third down and 6. Short set. Bonner again turns it upfield, and he's right at the marker at the 28-yard line. Well, Cummings, the kicker, his long is 47, so that puts them in field goal range. And Bonner once again is dinged up. That is a first down, Houston.
Well, Bonner is certainly trying to work through it, but right now there are a couple of guys out there that are trying to play through some injuries of some kind.
So a clock-eating drive for Houston. Ward again chopped down inside the 10 by Trent Martin, the senior linebacker.
The split zone once again. The tight end slash H-back, Tyler McCluskey, comes across the formation, and if the running back doesn't get it inside, he's a built-in escort for the quarterback.
This time Burden is in, his 3rd touchdown. That's a nearly 8-minute drive. Finished off by Burden, and Cummings sinks the extra point. 14 still without an answer for the Houston Cougars, who got it on 4th down with a quick snap from Ward, and Dylan Burden with his 3rd touchdown to give Houston a 31-17 lead. Tulsa down 2 scores, and Bishop Louis watches it bounce out of bounds. Yes.
How many things does a kicker have to do?
I think he's got one job, Kel.
Kick it on the field, Ty Cummings. This is the 2nd time he kicked the ball out of bounds.
Flanders strung out, chopped down. Cut down by Khalil Williams, the safety. Ty Cummings is going to end up on David Pollock and Sam Ponder's radar.
You have one job. And you don't want to give Tulsa anything to get that momentum back. They're down 2 touchdowns, but they got great field position because the kicker couldn't keep it between the ditches.
Flanders out of the backfield, twisted down by Steven Taylor, who missed last week's game. It is 3rd down. Houston's linebackers are down a man as well. Tyus Bowser, who was actually punched in the eye by one of his teammates, Matthew Adams, during the week a couple of weeks ago, and a family Friday, as they call it. They got a little heated, and Bowser's out 4 to 6 weeks. 3rd down, Tulsa, trailing by 14. 11 out of 17 against Houston's very staunch third down defense today. Evans, sideline, Atkinson, a sliding grab that saves the day for the guys from Tulsa. First down.
Atkinson has been matched up on Howard Wilson many times outside, but he hasn't been able to find him or beat Wilson many times here this evening.
Evans wants it all. Down the sideline. It is caught. Touchdown, Justin Hobbs. And just like that, Tulsa's back on the board.
Wow, that did not take long at all. Jeremy Winchester was the corner outside on Hobbs, and he looked back after the play as if he was expecting help outside. Well, there wasn't any help in the neighborhood. This was a very, very easy pitch and catch.
That scoring drive took 86 seconds.
Yeah, that's not that long, and they needed that right there. Tulsa needed that desperately.
Hobbs scores. Redford Jones the extra point. 7:03 to go. And the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, one of the best at striking quickly in the nation, do it here with Hobbs. Some hardware there for Houston, 13-1 last year. First American Athletic Conference championship game, just like they did in 1976. They joined the Southwest Conference and won that championship. Houston maybe trying to get into the Big 12, but hoping to win the American Championship again this year, trailing by 7. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane just scored to get into that position, and Houston will have it back, leading by a score. De'Aaron King from the 5. And King is cut down at the 15-yard line. So first down for Ward, under 7 minutes to go. Mo Bakar is the tailback, and he goes through the car wash for 2. Second down as Brubaker was into the stop again. What do you want to see from this Houston drive, Cal?
More of the same. They've been very efficient. That last drive was a thing of beauty, and Greg Ward has been making terrific decisions. The beauty of this offense is you snap it to your best player directly every time. No different here.
He gives it away this time to the 16-yard line for Carr. And it's 3rd down and 2 for Houston. Brady knocked him down as the Cougars go over 500 yards for the 5th time this year. 3rd down for Ward. His choice, and down he goes. Michael Thomas, the senior linebacker, absolutely lambasted him.
I don't agree with the play call, not just because of the result, but because of the result of the running game the plays before. Houston has been having success between the tackles running downhill. And that time you give Tulsa a bit of an edge by getting outside on what really is a designed quarterback run, power type of run, and Tulsa just absolutely blew it up.
Dane Roy had a 9-yard punt earlier. This one to the 47, and Kedron Wadley with a dicey choice. Tulsa does have it just short of midfield, down by a score. Tulsa last couple of games has come back from big deficits, 31-0 against Fresno State. And the defense got a couple 3-and-outs in a row and led Dane Evans into the end zone for a rushing touchdown in overtime. October 7th, last Friday against SMU. After an SMU field goal, Dane Evans touchdown run, 43-40 Tulsa. So this is a comeback-ready team, and Dane Evans has the baton just short of midfield for his head coach, Philip Montgomery.
Yeah, we said that when the game started. If the game can come down to Dane Evans willing his team to win, he's very good at doing it.
Justin Hobbs, who just had the touchdown, walking through traffic and getting near the marker. Just carnage all over. Williams and Winchester got welcome matted by Hobbs.
Tulsa is a rhythm offense, and right now they're in rhythm with Dane Evans.
He wanted Atkinson. Now he rips it down the sideline. Evans contact, and a flag comes in. Brandon Wilson on the coverage of Kevin Lucas, and we'll check the marker.
So tough for the defensive back, Brandon Wilson.
Defense, number 26, automatic first down.
Tremendously underthrown by Evans because he was moving to his right and trying to throw the ball 45 yards down the field. And Kevin Lucas was trying to fight back for the ball. It's one of those situations that happens so much where the corner in coverage simply does not see the ball. It's hard to fault him. But in this case, Brandon Wilson does get called for pass interference.
A very versatile player, has played some offense, some running back. But he's allowed a first down for Tulsa inside the 30. To the run again. Flanders sneaking through to the 21-yard line. Second down, Houston's season and possible American Conference championship in the balance. Another give from Evans to Flanders. D'Angelo Brewer has not played the second half. And it is a first down for Tulsa past the 20.
That good run by Flanders was on kind of a G play. You pull the guard, and he wraps around the center who blocks back on Ed Oliver in this particular case. You have a guy in Oliver's face, and you relocate outside of him. Not a bad idea.
Evans zips it out wide, and he's got the freshman Johnson to the 10-yard line. Handed. 4:06 to go. Tulsa wrapping on the door, trailing by a touchdown. Flanders running hard, and he's got a first and goal for Tulsa.
You know, Jason, it wouldn't be a bad idea for Tulsa to take some air out of this ball a little bit. I don't think they know how.
Flanders again. You talk about a workhorse. He carried in a state title game in high school 55 times. So he knows how to be the lead back. He's in with the injury to Brewer. Second and goal. One more time on the ground. Flanders to the goal line. Touchdown. Flanders takes off his helmet and draws a flag after the touchdown. Wow, that is a...
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 20, removing his helmet. This is the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul for number 20 in the game. The penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
That is just a crusher for an offense that went in under 2 minutes again.
Now, first of all, we need to make sure he was in on the touchdown. It was called a touchdown on the field. I'm surprised, and now it is being stopped to take a further look at it. But what did James Flanders do afterwards? He takes his helmet off, kneels down to do something, toss the ball back to the referee. Not a very wise decision by Flanders, to say the least.
Redford Jones knocks through the extra point, and we are tied, but Houston is very likely to get tremendous field position. We'll see. 3:31 to go. We are tied in Houston. Houston, number 13 in the country, in trouble at home. And a penalty against Tulsa helps out the Cougars as the kickoff is going to come from the 20-yard line. Penalty on James Flanders for removing his helmet after his 5th touchdown of the year. That evened the game. Good kick all the way back to the 12-yard line. And Houston will have the ball at the 34 on the return from Brandon Wilson.
Very interesting. Washington, Michigan, and A&M had the week off, and they'll probably be better for it.
We saw the throttling of the year last week with the Michigan Wolverines in New Jersey. Is Ward lets it fly to Chance Allen at the 40-yard line, and that starts Houston's drive. The Cougars need to win out and have some help to get to the American Conference Championship game. If Houston wants to get to another New Year's Six Bowl after the loss last week, you got to have them all and some assistance from the rest of the conference. Possible Big 12 members in a couple of days. As Burden is stacked up behind the line, he may have gotten a half-yard loss there as Jerry Uwezike, the defensive tackle, made the stop, and it's third down.
Tulsa defending the run with six 4-down linemen, 2 linebackers, and they have their nickel personnel in otherwise.
9 for 16, third down. Ward so good on third down, and he has Allen one more time. Greg Ward, last 2 years, best third down passer in the FBS, strikes again for 11.
The defender that comes down is Jeremy Brady, but he's no longer a defenseless player when the receiver, who would be defenseless in the catch combination, turns into a runner. But the question would be whether Jeremy Brady led with the crown of your helmet, which you're never allowed to do. That would be the question for the officials on the field.
Defenseless or not, crown of the helmet is targeting. So
regardless, exactly.
First down, Houston nonetheless. Burden, the tailback. Ward gives it to him, and Burden has 2, maybe 3, second down.
And the crown of the helmet rule is more for the hitter than it is the hittee. I mean, it's more for the guy dropping his head and delivering a blow.
Remember, this year as well, the crown of the helmet has been expanded in terms of the definition of what it is mid-season. Second down for Ward. Carr is in. Ward, the keeper, and he is blasted at the 44 downstairs to Cart.
Well, after that hit, Chance Allen with the medical staff right now is his neck area that he's in a lot of pain. And remember, Linnell Bonner, he had the groin and the shoulder. This wide receiver core, the walking wounded.
Greg Ward tonight, 9 out of 10 on third down through the air.
I think you have to play field position. The punt team's coming on right now, but that was a great defensive stand, obviously, by Tulsa. Greg Ward looked into their living room, in a sense, by the long snap count. He knew pressure was coming outside by Craig Suits off the edge. He moved away from that, but the right-hander moving to his left couldn't throw the ball accurately on the other end.
Pretty good punt from Dane Roy. Senior quarterback Dane Evans, who's led comebacks and overtime wins the last 2 games for Tulsa. He's got a completion. Justin Hobbs takes off, and it's a first down Tulsa past the 30-yard line. Khalil Williams knocked him out of bounds.
A great recognition by Dane Evans. Houston was overloaded to their left side and drove right into the mouth of that and found Hobbs out into that void.
Evans scrambling. He lost the football. Houston has it. Egbule, touchdown! Emeka Egbule for the Houston Cougars may have just saved a possible trip on New Year's Day for Houston. Long way to go. That's a big step. Extra point good, and Tulsa has only 81 seconds to play with.
Well, Jason, Houston was bringing pressure, but they got great man-to-man coverage on the back end. So Egbule is going to pick up the ball eventually, but Garrett Davis was the safety that is in there that actually knocked the ball away. The good coverage on the back end, the pressure on the front end moved Dane Evans outside, and he didn't do a very good job of taking care of the football. Obviously, he was trying to get in position to throw it, and it was blocked or knocked away by Garrett Davis.
Louis takes a knee. Dane Evans has to go 75 yards for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Dane Evans, a starter for parts of the last 4 years. To the controls for Tulsa. Evans pump fake down the middle. Beautiful catch across the 40-yard line, and a first down for Kevin Lucas for Tulsa.
Great job by Dane Evans not panicking. He had good protection. Ended up finding an open receiver.
Evans on first down. Launches sideline, incomplete. Hobbs has been the big play man in the second half. It's second down. Tulsa with 2 timeouts remaining.
Hobbs was open a little more quickly than that ball came out. Evans didn't act like he was confident that Hobbs was not going to continue down the field.
Tulsa playing out without its lead running back, D'Angelo Brewer, who's out with an injury. Second down, Tulsa. Evans wings it high. 2 guys in the area, and nobody was there to catch it. Winchester on the coverage, third down.
Houston bringing pressure to the offensive left side, to the short side of the field. 3 receivers to the right side. It was over Lucas's hands, and the defender was able to break on Hobbs before it could get into his chest.
How many do you bring if you're Houston here?
Right there, they brought 3 extra guys to one side. So they haven't been bashful about it on this drive at all. Very deep safety, however.
Third down, Evans. Down the middle, he has the freshman. Johnson inside the 35-yard line, and a first down, Tulsa. 47 seconds to go.
That was a fire zone blitz, and it was obviously wasn't the right coverage. Brought people, dropped guys into coverage that weren't used to being in coverage.
Evans, quick hitter, receiver screen for Hobbs, and he's across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Tulsa with 2 timeouts, 1 to burn. Senior quarterback Dane Evans. Second and 2. Loads of time. Evans pulls it down out of the pocket. He slings it. There's a flag down. It's a catch for Johnson if it stands.
Keenan Johnson, I believe, went out of bounds potentially. He's an ineligible receiver if he touches it. This is a loss of down as well.
Number 8 was out of bounds on his own and came back in, touched the ball. Illegal touching, lost it down in the previous spot. They're down.
That's a killer.
So you lose it down, you lose the catch.
Third and still very manageable at 3rd and 2, but it's about time now, right? It's about only having 22 seconds and 1 timeout.
Tulsa overtime wins back-to-back games. Once down 31-0 to win. Trailing here on the ground. Flanders, open space, down to the 1-yard line. First and goal, Tulsa, 15 seconds to go. Flanders is stopped, and Oliver got in the backfield. 8 seconds left, down to 7 now, and a timeout. Oh my goodness.
The most miraculous thing about that exchange is how Houston didn't have too many players on the field. Flanders down, rightly called on the 1-yard line where the ball was when the first, something other than the foot in the hand is down. In this case, it was the knee. But Dane Evans was trying to catch Houston with too many guys on the field, and I thought he actually did it, but the officials didn't call it.
Dane Evans was pointing at the Houston defense to try to draw the attention of the officials, and he did not get the call.
You know, massive substitution at a time when you really didn't have the ability to do it, Houston defensively.
What's your call here? 7 seconds left. No timeouts.
You have to throw the ball into the end zone. It's second down, so you have probably 2 spins at it. But right now it looks like Tulsa is at least giving the appearance of trying to run this into the end zone. I don't think that's wise.
Evans, play action, throws to the 1. He is stopped. Houston wins. Keenan Johnson had the door closed on him.
Certainly you have to start by getting Houston off the field. This is going to be reviewed without question and taking a further look at it. As Keenan Johnson secure the ball and cross the plane.
It was Brubaker who came in as the defensive tackle, and he was shut down at the 1-yard line.
Wow. The other number 8 that's not a receiver that did not know how or what to do with the ball once he came in the game. So Tulsa came in with personnel that says we're going to try to run that in. I didn't think it fooled really anybody.
After further review, the way the field stands, the player was short of the goal line. That's the game.
Houston wins. Wow, what a finish. Downstairs, Clark with Tom Herman.
Coach, with 7 seconds left, you're an offensive guy, but I saw you walk into that defensive huddle. What'd you tell them?
I told them, trust your training. We train for this every single week, every single time we go out on the field to prepare. Trust your training, and your training will take over.
How did you stay so calm during that review? You grabbed everyone off. How did you do it?
We got to prepare for the worst, which was go block a PAT had they overturned it. So we needed to calm everybody down and get ready to go block a PAT. So that's all I was thinking about.
Greg Ward, 250 yards through the air, over 100 on the ground. What did he mean to this win tonight?
Oh, everything. We're struggling to find a tailback with some consistency. And so he takes over the game, and we're going to ride him till the wheels fall off.
Last week, a loss to Navy. Now the last second win. Describe the emotions of the last week for you.
We got the taste out of our mouth. That's all that matters. It's really hard to win in college football, especially against a really good team like Tulsa that was coming in really high and really had a lot of momentum. I thought our guys responded well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Tom Herman's team wins 38-31 over Tulsa. Next on ESPN2, out to the blue turf in Boise, Colorado State and Boise State. Mark Neely and Ray Bentley have the call.